I was speaking to an individual the other day, and I was telling him the purpose of being in creation, that it is here as a simulator for experiences, and it is through the comparisons, when we have awareness to switch our views to the real self from the personal self, that we can begin recognizing the true reality, and eventually supersede creation and stand with the ease. Sounding intrigued, he would, however, raise concerns over the friends and family he might leave behind, should he embark on this journey of becoming a true being of real light, and all those he knows and loves deciding to remain with their personal created selves only. This is a consideration that everyone undoubtedly will have to face, if they do decide to become more aware and eventually be with the all-is. We will all have friends, associates and family, and more likely than not, their interest will range from a passing curiosity to outright dismissal. One of the main reasons we remain in creation are the emotional attachments we have with other individuals. These taplining bonds, forged through emotional astral outpourings, will have us limited to creation. We are anchored there, tethered by these decided and agreed upon bindings. In essence, the emotional attachments we have with people will have us bound to them, and we thus drag each other back for endless lifetimes, maybe forever. It may sound all very romantic and delightful, the prospect of soulmates and soul groups who keep returning with each other in different roles. Some of the bindings between people not always of a loving nature either. Emotional bonds of hatred between individuals can be just as effective a restricting tapline as those of love. It's emotion that creates the taplines, irrespective of the particular brand of emotion. As we can see, the spiritual paths and teachings that promote love as the pinnacle state of being, and that which must be primarily strived for, are simply encouraging and expounding sound good information that keeps us imprisoned here, and as is being revealed by those investigating on the real side, as Kelsey has been speaking of in recent weeks, these spiritual gurus and masters are not what they seem. They represent again another branch of control. And we must take a look now at what creation actually is. It is a simulation. It is a holographic computer game, if you will, a training ground. And absolutely everything in it is a creation. It has to be. All the people in it are constructed, created vehicles. All the personalities that are associated with them are created and forged based on experiences that mould them, all experiences in creation are as a result of decisions and choices. The experiences, individually and collectively, stemming from the cause and effect principle of the psych realms, that are constantly projected through decisions and choices, which are all ideas. Everything in creation that we see originated with an idea. If agreed to, it becomes then part of the experience of those who agree to it. It shapes worlds, universes, and so the passage of time is in fact cause and effect, which moves things along, all based on free will. And so the whole of creation is based on ideas, and all ideas, along with all body vehicles within the 5 life levels, and everything affiliated with them, are creations. If no one projected any ideas, thoughts and emotions, and agreement was not gleaned consciously, unconsciously, or subliminally programmed to the demise of creation, then creation would not move through the epochs. It would remain in the golden epoch. But of course, the only way to recognize the true reality is to have experiences, and experiences must be activated through the cause and effect set in motion, through the ideas, thoughts and emotions we project and agree to. In fact, when utunes first enter creation from the ears, how is it that they even can come into an experience if they have no cause and effect prior to that? If they came straight from the ears, no cause and effect is present there, so nothing can be created and projected into a future lifetime or experience. But it seems that to get the ball rolling, utunes initially enter creation fresh from the ears with some karma added on, or where and how could they begin? As they would need some experience or other to enter into. The trouble is they then get immersed in the passing dream, and with the control factor that tends to always be present, especially as the epochs roll on, getting through creation becomes rather arduous. But anyway, we can safely say then, everything in creation is based on a creation or idea, and so nothing here is real. Picture a computer game you play. Everything in it is a creation, all the scenes, people, their programmed personalities. It's not real. The only thing real is you, who are controlling your character. A good analogy for our situation here. We are the overseers of the game, and our created vehicles in the created levels of creation are like the computer game characters. Except we can easily get lost in the game and think it is the reality. And so we disconnect from our real selves, that are overseeing the creational game. If all the body vehicles are creations, then all that is affiliated with each vehicle is created too. The mental vehicle and its created thoughts and ideas, none of which are you, but that which you create, and constantly unleash into the consciousness, which lays a path of cause and effect experiences that must be walked down. The emotional body also, and all the various emotions associated with it, all are simulated, all created, none are real. And again, the emotion we constantly create results in taplining cause and effect repercussions that must then be experienced. So when we are perturbed at leaving our family members behind, we must remember that each individual has a vehicle on each of the life levels, and a real self from which the creational vehicles are animated from with the ears. Most people, then, are concerned about losing contact with the physical level version of an individual. But were they to pop onto the astral, there they would find that individual again, and further into the life levels. And actually, each life level vehicle has its own baggage, as it were. The mental vehicle, with its thoughts and ideas, the emotional astral vehicle, with its simulated emotions. The higher we go, literally speaking, as in fact everything is, so there is in fact no higher or lower, the higher we go, the less baggage the individual has. Beyond the astral level, the emotions are now absent. Beyond the mental, the thought processes are gone. We are in fact then encountering an individual with less and less of the created layers of personal self that overlay the real self. So an individual on the physical level must surely be then at the furthest place from their real self as they can be. That's assuming they haven't connected with their real awareness and are standing real on the physical level, as the is here and now, and accessible in creation. And there, waiting in the real universes of the is, would be the individual in all its real self, true being of light actuality. From this we can see that the higher in the life levels we are, the more we are seeing the genuine real person, beyond the created being that conceals it, until we reach the is, and now we see them in the full glory of their beingness, and being to being. I would suggest far better to be with someone being to being in the real universes than to interact with the densest version of them on the physical level, as all we are doing on the physical level, if we are interacting with an unaware loved one or friend, is engaging with a creation, an idea, a faint echo of the real individual. It would be like, going back to our computer game analogy, the characters in the computer game speaking with each other in the game, instead of those that play the game characters speaking with each other, except in this case the game characters are disconnected from those that control them, and are so a faint echo of the real beings. And so, people dismayed at leaving created animated versions of the real person behind is rather amusing, if looked at from this real self-awareness perspective. And we must remember that any love we feel for anyone on the physical isn't a real love. It's a simulated and created emotion we have decided to add to our experience. It's not even real. It's as created and fake as the version of the individual we are projecting it onto, and the vehicle we are creating it from. Real love can only be found beyond creation and the emotional vehicle, and it is more along the lines of a purity and being to beingness, which can't really be described literally. And as ever, we look to the sun and what it demonstrates. Is there emotion to be found there? Is there love? There is not. But until people do experience the real love of the true reality, all they will have and know are the experiences of creation to draw from as their references, and as people have been in creation for eons, and generally following along the same routines and habitual lines of falling in simulated love with another created simulated vehicle, they will find it rather difficult to let this go, to take the risk, to see and be more. For love on the physical level would be along these lines, instigated initially by a physical attraction for the body vehicle. Then the created emotion of love is added to the experience, and so the individuals will only know themselves from this very limited and restricted position, that of the physical astral predominantly, and never know each other as the true beings of real light they in fact are, until they decide differently and begin the process of recognizing their real intent and real awareness.